Hey, welcome to Stump the Idiot. I am the idiot, the huge one, Dave Coco from CocoSports.com, KOCOSports.com, or CocoSports.net. It's where the world comes to kick ass. This is Stump the Idiot, where you ask me questions and I try to answer it. Please, down in the comments, I've been on vacation and we haven't done a Stump the Idiot in forever. So please, down in the comments, please leave some questions for me. And I will do another Stump the Idiot where I'll try to collect all the questions. And if you want, you can send it at Twitter, at Coco Sports, or hashtag Stump the Idiot. I don't know if we're that popular enough to ask for questions yet, but we'll throw it out there. So this is one question. I'm going to just do one question this show, and it's been asked 8 trillion times of me from different people, including Player Dies, and I know a bunch of other people asked me, even on Twitter, Facebook, and all that. So we'll try to get it to best. And is, how will Kenta, Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, and Willie Mack do in the WWE? It's kind of like fantasy draft for pro wrestling. It's everyone's getting crazy for fantasy football, and you're like, oh, how are the draft picks going to do? How are the rookies going to do? And everyone's getting crazy for the NFL. It feels like that with the WWE, but I honestly think it is way, way, way easier to predict real sports and real athletes because you can see what they do. Because in WWE, you have the ass-kissing factor. You don't know how these guys handle themselves in the back. You don't know if they're not going to shake the wrong hands. In pro wrestling, talent has very little to do with it. And hopefully that will change with the new Triple H thing. And the thing is, even though the future is really bright, I'm really excited about these 4 guys. I want to know, please leave in the comments, how far do you think these guys are going to get? Because it is very hard to predict. All these guys, I'm going to try to give them a grade of how I think they're going to do in WWE. But to be honest, all these guys are A-plus guys, you know? I always, Triple H calling Daniel Bryan a B-plus player. I honestly believe they believe that stuff sometimes. And it just sucks that talent doesn't always rise to the top in WWE. But in a perfect world, this would be the future. I mean, NXT has signed some of the best talent around the world, and I'm so excited to see where it goes. I think now, here, I'll break it down, give them a grade, how I think. Obviously, if you went off pure talent alone, all 4 of these men are A-plus players, great blue-chip athletes, should be main event's future. But it's WWE, you have to look sexy, you have to kiss ass, and you have to be at the right place at the right time, gimmicks, booking, there's so much of a factor into it. Alright, so let's break this down. Even though I think they're A-plus players, I'm going to give a grade of how far I think they're going to make it into WWE, and please tell me how far you think they're going to make it. Kenta, I think they has to be A+. They have to push him. They have to promote him. Japan has been absolutely kind of angry at WWE. This house show where they signed Kenta and brought Hulk Hogan over, they marketed, they did everything right. They have to turn it around. They did a top 100. Well, first off, a bunch of the Mexican wrestlers are pissed. WWE has a history of being racist, and they have to erase that just because the times of racism gimmicks are kind of over. And people ain't gonna put up with that shit. One thing that really pisses off, I live in Tokyo, one thing that pisses off a lot of my Japanese pro wrestling fans is WWE will charge $20 to $40 more for a DVD, the top 100 wrestlers of all time that Dave Batista made, and not one Japanese guy made it. You're gonna charge Japan extra. They only did house shows up until this year only because they had a contract with J Sports. It was an obligation. This is the first time with the Kenta signing and Hulk Hogan they actually tried and they drew a crowd and sold out. So with Yoshitatsu, with Tajiri, with all these Japanese wrestlers, and a lot of people are like, oh well, they're not living up to their standards and all that, and some people are like, oh well, they're not talented enough, and it's bullshit. Watch New Japan. Watch the G1. Japan has some of the best wrestlers in the world, and it would be great to see a pro wrestling guy make it. They should make it. And the same thing with Lucha. You have a whole network. They should make it. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, they've helped other people. But all those people that people give examples of, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels, all these little guys that have made it, I noticed they have one thing in common that Kenta doesn't have in common. Kenta, there's a meme going around that Chris Jericho invented everything. I love you, Chris Jericho. Sit the fuck down. Kenta invented everything. If you're like, wow, that is pretty fucking cool, Kenta invented it. That's just science. That's fact. We're not even talking pro wrestling. You're like, holy shit, fucking Doritos and a taco? Kenta created that. He's an amazing wrestler. And the thing is, Pro Wrestling Noah was really hurting. Misawa just passed away. They were hurting bad, and they put the pressure on Kenta, and a lot of people thought he was too small, and he literally carried that company. I believe, in my humble opinion, Pro Wrestling Noah is around today because of Kenta. I think Kenta is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I even do this because in Japan, we have so much pro wrestling in Tokyo that it's hard. It's overwhelming to follow it all. It really is overwhelming. Like, it's so funny because, like, you'll hear Americans like, there's too much wrestling. Dude, come to Tokyo. They'll have, like, 6 shows a week. 6 shows a day. It is crazy overwhelming with pro wrestling. But a lot of times, people, to stay a pro wrestling fan and not be overwhelmed, they just pick one company. And every time I go to a pro wrestling bar, I'd always hear this. I like Dragon Gate and Kenta. I like New Japan and Kenta. I like Pro Wrestling Noah because of Kenta. So Kenta is an absolute amazing athlete, and they have to make him a great wrestler. They have to make him, high mid-card to high main event. I think when it's all said and done, Kenta, and there's a lot of pressure, Kenta has to be the best Japanese pro wrestler ever to go through WWE. It's just Devitt, not Devitt, I'm sorry. Okada and Tanahashi both turned down contracts because they were worried about racism. You have to turn it around, and it's just Kenta is one of the most talented wrestlers in the world, and you know what? If they screw up Kenta, like they screwed up Sin Cara, they really screwed up Sin Cara. A lot of American fans don't know how good Sin Cara really is. He was Mystico before he was Sin Cara, and he was the Michael Jordan of Lucha at the time. Some people might over-exaggerate and say he's the best at Lucha of all time, but that's a bit of steep. But I do believe at the time he was the hottest person in Lucha. Even to this day, people love Mystico in Japan. Mystico is loved around the world, and the Sin Cara situation was horrible. There was the language barrier, there was the attitude, there was the big contract, there was the botches, there wasn't, hey, I'm not going to put you with someone that works Lucha style. It was just a train wreck. And part of me, the Lucha part of me, died a little bit. And not only that, but how quick the WWE Universe, the American fans, just turned on Mystico, the original Sin Cara. It broke my heart, and it's just like, man, if you can't get over with this, the king of Lucha at the time, how the fuck, and I think it's the same way with Kenta. I honestly think Kenta has to be a star in WWE. I have no idea how they're going to sell tickets if they mess up Kenta. I mean, there's tons of stories. I mean, if you just go to Japanese forums and you can read Japanese, there's just story about just pure racism. I mean, they didn't even know who the fuck Yoshitatsu was. It was crazy. So, I'm going to be completely honest. As a pro wrestling fan, if Kenta is not successful, a part of me will always hate WWE. A part of me will break. I just be like, oh, fuck it. And a lot of Okada just had a great thing. Okada, to me, is the best wrestler in the world. Okada, and he's I think 24, 25, and he had a chance to go to WWE, and people kept asking him, hey, you're going to be a little fish, a big fish in a little pond. And he's like, if that's the case, I'm going to make this pond as big as possible. And people absolutely loved him for it. So I just hope Kenta does good. I mean, the talent is there. Daniel Bryan. Just imagine Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, just there you go. There is a free match on YouTube. I believe Ring of Honor still has it up between him and Daniel Bryan, and it's absolutely amazing. And the thing is, nowadays we're so connected online. You should just check out these guys. I wish I could show clips. A, I'm lazy, and B, we're on YouTube and it's copyright hell. So the combination of me, I'm fucking lazy, and YouTube being like, what? You don't own the rights to your own voice? Down! So I'll try to put links down in doobly-doo. But, man, Kenta is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And even though John Cena, the John Cena show, is so fucking depressing, it's nice to see Triple H and the future of NXT not masturbating to steroids anymore and actually having talent. Next is Prince Devitt. I'm a huge fan of Prince Devitt. He worked his way. He worked at NWA UK Hammerlock, but really got his name in New Japan. Was a great tag team wrestler, then became a great singles wrestler, and then from the singles wrestler, he started the Bullet Club. He's the real Bullet Club. There's a lot of wrestling fans prior to the G1. I think AJ Styles has really, really proved himself after the G1. But there was a lot of fans that were like, oh, it's AJ Styles. You're not Prince Devitt. You don't deserve the IWGP title. You are not the real leader of the Bullet Club. And for a while, a lot of fans felt that way about AJ Styles, and a lot of American fans know how talented AJ Styles is. But Prince Devitt is younger. Well, he's not that young, actually. He's 33, but he's young. He's younger than AJ Styles, but just absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best high flyers in the business today. You know, I don't know. If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably say Ricochet, but Prince Devitt's pretty awesome. And he can speak English, which is a huge benefit. He's white. I hate to say it. It's a huge benefit in WWE. So hopefully he does it. I don't know if they're going to let him keep the paint. I know they're probably, right now, from what I've read online, they're going to just call him Fergal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, his real name. He'll always be Prince Devitt to me, but who knows? I mean, Sami Zayn has finally grown on me. Damn you, El Generico. Damn you. So hopefully it does good. The only thing that, you know, Kenta's biggest problem is his size and language. Prince Devitt's biggest problem is just his size. But it seems like WWE is getting away from the, look at my big muscles and my tight tights. Oh, man, dude, I hate the bodybuilding fucking aspect of pro wrestling. I really do. It makes no fucking sense, especially after you've seen great athletes like Fedor and BJ Penn do great. It's just, oh man, if you know anything about boxing and MMA, you just know those steroided fucks can't fucking move forever and are not really that fucking athletic. I'm just so glad that fucking they're moving on to talent, and hopefully it stays that way. Devitt does have a little bit of advantage over Kenta, just the fact that he's white and can speak English, but he works a style that's absolutely amazing to watch. But old school WWE Vince McMahon masturbating while eating steroids. Look at those muscles! Look at those muscles! You have that. You got that going against him. But definitely worth checking out and hopefully get him. I think this is just me, and I want your opinions down in the comments too. I think Devitt might have a little bit of a shot over Kenta, just because he can speak English and he's white. But there's also you also have the fact that, yo, dude, you have to have a Japanese star eventually, right? Right? You have to have a Japanese star eventually. And all these people are like, don't worry. Yeah, dude, we're fucking worrying. Kenta's an amazing athlete, but his English level's not that high, so it's kind of interesting. Now, the opposite here is, you know, another guy, Kevin Steen, that just got signed. And Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor fame, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, had a great feud with El Generico. Just absolutely amazing. Now, Devitt can speak English, not the best promo cutter. Kenta's English level, bit of a mystery, but from what I've heard and talked to in Japan, he might need some more English lessons. Devitt, not the best of promo cutters, not bad, not great, but Kevin Steen, he has the size, he has the promo chops, he can cut promos with the best of them, so I look forward to Kevin Steen. Now the problem is, Well, the masturbation, oh, World Body Federation, oh, I'm JR, good God, he looks amazing in his tighty tight tights. Will that old school WWE hold Kevin Steen back? I don't know. The thing that makes me excited now is, A, there be a star cleaning up so real athletes can actually go instead of a bunch of steroid fucking freaks. But the thing that gives me hope, even though Kevin Steen does not look like an underwear model that Vince McMahon would jerk off to, is that you have Bray Wyatt, who's a fat guy that used to be able to go. What the fuck happened, Bray Wyatt? What the fuck happened? And you have Bull Dempsey, which I'm not a big fan of Bull Dempsey, and it's not Bull Dempsey's fault, but every time I see Bull Dempsey, I'm like, you're not Kevin Steen, you're not Samoa Joe, you're not Hashimoto, you're just a fat fuck. And I don't know if that's really fair, though, but that's how I feel in my heart. That is how I feel in my hearts. And another pro wrestling gorilla guy, Willie Mack. I do not know as much about Willie Mack as I did the other three athletes. I just know from catching a match here and there. I really have to get into pro wrestling gorilla. I stopped watching Ring of Honor just because in Japan you're so overwhelmed covering the American pro wrestling. You get overwhelmed. But I have to definitely get into pro wrestling gorilla. I've been saying that forever. And Ring of Honor, I just stopped watching. I don't know why. It's just, oh shit, I got shit to do. You know, but I got to get into it. But Willie Mack, out of the four that I'm talking about today that people ask me about, I know the least about. I have seen him do matches. You know, I have to call it. You know, he's black. That could be a problem in WWE. But he's also. He's not the underwear model type. He's not the Randy or an Abercrombie and Fitch model. According to Wikipedia, he's 5'10", 280 pounds. So, but from what I've seen, and like I said, I haven't seen him in full shows. I have seen full matches. I have been impressed by his matches. Absolutely entertaining, fun, good wrestler, could go. And Pro Wrestling Gorilla, even though I haven't watched the shows, I have watched the matches and have always been impressed. So to me, the future looks bright. I hope all these guys make it. They all have something for them. What all four have in common is they are amazing wrestlers. Steen is the best promo cutter and has size, even though he's not the underwear model. Kenta has a whole country behind him. Prince Devitt could go. I think talent-wise, they're all amazing. But Kenta, you do have the English language speaking, and Prince Devitt, even though a lot of people are like, he was the leader of the Bullet Club, oh my fucking god, I love the Bullet Club, I know nothing about New Japan, but please send me a Bullet Club t-shirt. He's not the best of promo cutters. And I always wondered, like, are they going to team some of these guys up? There were pictures of Steen and Devitt together, so it would be very interesting to see. And will he be wearing the stuff? Because Prince Devitt, for those that don't know, he's a huge comic book fan, and he does Venom, Carnage, and just does a great, I guess, makeup job. Is that the right word? He does a great makeup job. If that's the wrong word, it's late at night here in Japan, and I apologize. So yeah, there you go. I think talent-wise, they're amazing. They all have flaws for WWE standards. And they all have shine. I hope nothing but the best for these four athletes. I'll be rooting for them. But down in the comments, it's so hard, and like I said earlier in the show, it's so hard to predict how good you'll do in WWE because you have the ass-kissing factor. You have the looks factor. You have the creative factor. You have so much going for you or against you. Picking who's going to do good in MMA, picking what rookies are going to do good out of the NFL draft is way easier. Because, you know, if you have a great wide receiver from East Bumble University and he's an asshole, you'll put up with it if he's going to get 1,000, 2,000 yards receiving. But in wrestling, because there's no legit competition, sorry, TNA, if you go up and you're like, hey, I didn't shake your hand at a fucking 76-degree angle and lick your taint, they'll be like, that's it, you're out of here. So it's so funny because no matter how talented you are, you have to be a great ass kisser. I don't mean to drop a CM Punk pipe bomb, but oh my God, it's depressing. I hope nothing but the best for these poor athletes. Thank you for sending in this question. I plan on doing a longer Stump the Idiot later this week. I was just asked this on vacation and before vacation like 876 times. I want to do a short video today. But I will be doing a Stump the Idiot. I will be doing a Monday Night Raw review. So I will try to go back and collect questions. I know I'm not popular enough to be like, please send me questions, but I'll try it. I'll dabble in the water. Hey guys, please send me questions. You can leave it down in the comments, or you can hashtag Stump the Idiot. I've never done anything like this. This is my first time. I'm a hashtag virgin. Or at Coco Sports on Twitter. I'll try to collect a bunch of questions. Plus, I'll try to do it at a decent time, so maybe I can have a live audience. I have no idea what time it is around the rest of the world. It's 9 o'clock at night here in Japan. So, yeah, wherever you are, thank you for being a live viewer, and hopefully you guys can check it out during the day. All right, I'm going to go check out cocosports.com, cocosports.net. There's a lot of new features. One great thing is the comment system's a lot easier. You can use your Twitter account. You can use Facebook. And Jerry put a lot of tons of features in it, and there'll be a lot more features coming. We're hoping that this review show will become a regular stop for you, and we're hoping that our blog will eventually be worthy enough for you to use it daily. All right, so please go check out cocosports.com. I will be back later tonight with a Raw review, and I'll also do a longer Stump the Idiot as I have 800 questions I have to get to. But let's get some fresh questions down there. All right, like I said, cocosports.com. And with that, I am over.